what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rise. I'm back here at Tampa Honda, sunny Tampa, Florida, and lo and behold, I am a lucky guy today, a happy camper. We're gonna showcase that big, huge question. What is the $10,000 or so difference between a 2019 Honda Civic Si and the 2019 Honda Civic Type R? What's amazing is both of these, can you believe it, are finished in that beautiful sparkling Aegean blue. We're going to talk about the differences, some of the similarities, and we're hopefully by the end going to have that question answered for you. What makes the Type R be the Type R and cost that additional money? Let's focus on the Si. So you can see with the Si that very similar front end. Remember, the biggest zonk that I'm gonna give, these vents are fake. There's nothing functional going on here. You have LED fog lamps. You have the nicely styled headlight housing. It comes all the way across. There's our Si badge. Si badge has always been red, stands for Sports Injected, your traditional Honda chrome logo. And then I really like what they did with a very tasteful flat black lower lip spoiler, just to help scoop air into that intercooler, because remember, underneath the hood is that 1.5 liter turbocharged engine, made it to a 6-speed. But coming right across, very, very unique design that Honda went with to really showcase that, hey, in the 21st century, they could bring some exciting design back to the whole Civic lineup, whether you're doing an Si or just a standard Civic. Up onto the hood, I really think it was very smart to take the body line here and go straight up, and it kind of angles back as well. I like that. It gives it a little bit of extra personality. If we're talking personality, this car has it in bags and bags full. This is that Type R right off the bat. You can see the similarity, but let's look at some of the differences. First of all, the Type R is about an inch wider than the Civic Si. The reason why is because Honda designed special suspension geometry to get those front wheels far out as wide as possible to help grip the road. And this front wheel drive car, even though they're both front wheel drive cars, this one is going to handle so much differently than the Civic Si that's behind me. Underneath the hood, 2-liter inline 4 turbocharged engine, still made it to a 6-speed transmission. Let's talk a little bit about the aerodynamics. So everything that you see is functional. Over here, this is going to help channel air into the side fender, down the side of the car. I'll show you in a second where that air is going to go. We're going to zonk it just like we zonked the Civic Si. We're going to have to zonk the Type R. These are fake. Now, one thing I want to point out, somebody in a previous video said that this is a functional scoop here for cooling or something like that. That is not true. The reason why this is not blocked off is that that's where the horn resides. And for sound purposes, to get that sound to come past the fake grill, that's why there's holes there. Now, if you're wondering, does this help with brake cooling? No. There's actually brake cooling ducts on both sides right above this aggressive low lip spoiler. Now, this isn't carbon fiber, it's a faux carbon fiber, but I think they got the weave down perfectly, and I really like the red trim that goes in addition with it. That's going to be part of that whole Type R tradition, that mystique. As we work our way across the front, you can see the connection between the Si and the Type R. One thing that this definitely is going to have is that red Honda logo. Many people, don't be fooled, many people with other Civics, even the Si, will take off the chrome Honda badge and put the red Honda badge on. That's a no-no. It only comes on Type R models, no matter what particular car it is. And the reason why it's red is because it goes all the way back to Honda's Formula One days, where they were really, really aggressive back in the 60s, all the way through the decades. As of right now, Honda hasn't been really too hot lately, but in Formula One, let's see if that changes. Now, a lot of people think that the hood scoop, which that's another difference, there's that hood scoop on top in that Aegean blue, they think that is for actual engine performance. It is not. This is going to help channel air that's hitting the front of the car and then get it out and through the sides of the car. And I'm going to show you that when we pop the hood. So that is going to be another major difference, is that the Si, no hood scoop. This is a hood scoop, and it is functional. Believe it or not, I'm going to have Tom showcase his camera abilities. He's been taking his protein and stuff. There's an actual scoop right in there above this gloss black plastic and below the actual Aegean blue. That's gonna help feed air into that 2-liter turbocharged engine. If you come down, you can see that large intercooler sneaking behind this grill. One thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna zonk this. I don't like this. It's like a weird plastic rubber material. I wish they would use nice metal, like a nice metal grade, I think would just add an extra flair, extra touch, but all of the aerodynamics serves a purpose. This thing could cut through the air at 169 miles an hour. That's something unbelievable. But as we wrap it around, just like on the Si, there's that full fake vent on the front. So one has holes, that's only for the horn. The other one does not, but they're not doing any type of cooling. Let's go ahead and check out the sides between the Si and the Type R. Let's go check it out. All right, guys, so we're gonna talk about the Si and go down the side before we hit that Type R up. One thing to realize is that with the Si, you can get this one in a sedan as it sits, or also a coupe, no hatchback. Let's talk about the fender. You can see how slim the fender is to the hood line all the way back to the door. There's no flaring of the fender. This is gonna have that brushed aluminum, gloss black wheel. I like the style of it. It's a nice 18-inch diameter wheel. Ventilated brakes, but no cross-drilled, nothing fancy with Brembo calipers or anything like that. This is gonna be a nice step up from a standard Civic sedan. Really has a lot of tuning though underneath these fenders to help with performance and handling and whatnot. As we work our way down the side, I like the way they took that beautiful blue from the fenders, from the rest of the car into the mirrors. I wish though that there was some type of LED turn signal built into that. All Civic SIs, what's wonderful, come pretty much optioned the way that you see it. There's really not much to really personalize the car with. All of them are gonna come with a sunroof. That's something you'll see with the Type R, no sunroof if you like your sunroofs. There's that full 4-door size of the Civic. I really like the rear quarter window, the way it kind of slims everything up, because this is a 4-door car, and it, from certain angles, it'll fool you and make you think that it's a coupe. As we get to the back here, you can see how the rear fender comes down, and just a very clean, nice look to it. It's going to perform well, and it's going to come in a price point. Remember, this one's MSRP of around $25,000. Let's go check out the side of the Type R and see what's different. All right, guys, time to check out the side of the Type R. Here's really where you're going to see some of that money that you're going to be paying extra for, because remember, the MSRP around this one is around $36,000, $37,000. This is where you're going to see that money being spent. Like I told you, air is going to come in here. This is not for brake cooling. Brake cooling is down here. It's going to flow through the fender and actually come out the backside, which I'll show you that in a second. But let's focus on what's going on here. This is insane. 20-inch wheel. Love the look. Gloss black. There's our red Honda logo. And then massive 4-piston Brembo calipers. That's something that you don't see on the Si. And check out those rotors. Those rotors are massive. They're fully ventilated and cross-drilled. They're gonna make sure that this Civic Si can stop and stop and stop all the time on a dime, and I promise you, you're gonna get change back to help pay for those extra costs of the Type R. As we go down, here's one of my favorite parts, the flared fender. I'm gonna get out of the way and have Tom swinging around. You'll see that extra width of the front of the Type R. Remember, it's about 1 inch wider than the Civic Si. Fully functional. That air is going to come out and then be forced down the side of the car. And what I love about the Type R when you're looking at the side is I love the lower sill here. So as the air flows down the side of the car, this lower sill finished in that faux carbon fiber with the red trim really works with the blue. I'm actually pleasantly surprised. This is the first time I've seen a Type R in the blue color, and it works really well. But as the air comes back, you can see how this extra bodywork is going to help flow it down the side of the car. Now, here's something a lot of people always ask. Why is this fender flare not round? They could have easily taken an extra piece of body material and made it round. The reason why, there's a purpose. As soon as the air hits here, it's going to kick up and be forced towards the back of the car. That is Honda engineering. That's Honda performance, and that's why this car aerodynamically is so different from the Si. Check out the roof. Everything has been integrated when to direct air towards that massive rear wing. You can see the vortex generators off the back there. That also is not found on the Si. And then just really nice how that fender flare comes around, and then you're gonna have a continuation of the faux carbon fiber, and then this extra vent. This is another vent, it's not functional. So there's about a total of 4 vents on so far what we showed you, the 2 up front and then 1 on each side that are not functional. Let's go ahead, we're gonna check out the back of the Si. All right guys, tail end of the business. I've already popped the trunk, so that's why it's already propped like this, but here is the back of the Civic Si sedan. You can see that Civic family has that same taillight design. What's really cool about this is during the daytime or especially at night, you know that there's a Civic in front of you just based off those taillights. Here is the other. So we have more faux vents back here. This one is fake, that one is fake. I think it would have been smart, I'm zonking it, to get rid of this and just make it all blue. This blue is so beautiful, why not have a little bit more? But they have some gloss black around the back, and then a very simple flat black rear diffuser on the lower portion here, and then a large, somebody brought up the word HDMI. This thing looks like an HDMI plug. I could plug this into my laptop and probably download some Raity's Rides videos onto my laptop from this exhaust. I wish they would do something different with that. I don't know, it's cool because it blends in, but do you really want to blend in when you have an Si? I like the Si logo, how they have it positioned. There's that Honda, remember, chrome. If you see red, somebody did that. They bought it off eBay or something and changed out the logo. And then the size of the wing. I think they did a great job with using a different wing than the coupe. The coupe's wing is actually a little bit higher. I'm really digging this on the sedan. And then when you open up the trunk, what's great about this car is the usability. So you're gonna get that 205 horsepower from the engine, but then you also get the usability of an actual functioning trunk. You have the 60-40 split. You got these handles here that you pull to fold down the seats. Nice depth to it. Really, really nicely done. Why don't we go ahead and check out the back end of that Type R and see what's different. All right guys, tail end of the business on the Type R, and you can see right off the bat a lot to talk about, a lot of differences. Let's talk with this rear wing. One thing a lot of people don't realize, since this is a hatchback, you actually have 2 rear wings. So you have this massive rear wing which actually produces real downforce, 0 lift, and not a lot of drag. That air is gonna come off the roof line. Those vortex generators are gonna clean it up and then kick it off the top of the wing. As we go down, this is another wing. So air is actually gonna come underneath here, go over the top. That's that Honda engineering that we're always talking about. There's that Type R badge. I like how prominent it is, nicely displayed. Here's some things I'm gonna zonk. Fake vents again. This is a total, so we got 2 on the front, 2 on the corners of the rear bumper, and then these 2. So do the math, 2, 4, 6. That's a little bit too many fake vents on a Type R. That's all about performance. And like I said, wouldn't you agree? I think you would. If this was all just Aegean blue, that would really just help with cleaning it up a little bit. There's that faux carbon fiber rear diffuser, very aggressive. And like I said, I'm not gonna zonk it because the pattern looks like real carbon fiber. Very aggressive diffuser, totally functional, and then there's a huge talking part. A car that has 3 exhaust tips. Now, if you do your research, you would know that the Ferrari F40, all the way back in the late 80s, had 3 exhaust tips. I promise you, this Type R does not sound like an F40. You would think with the 2 larger ones and the one in the center, it'd give you a nice sound. I owned a Type R. One of the reasons why I got rid of the Type R was that it was too sterile. And I know, yes, you could put different exhausts and all that kind of stuff on it. I wanted to keep the warranty. I wanted to daily drive it. I didn't want it to be too noisy. How about an adaptive exhaust? You know, I know that Honda can do that and make it have a nice sound. Now, if you've ever wondered, why is it that there's 3? At highway speeds, that center one is gonna help cut down on the booming, so it's not real boomy and bassy while you're at a higher RPM. So it has been tuned to help with the sound overall. It's just the problem is it's been so tuned that it doesn't produce as much sound. There's that Honda logo, red. Remember, that is tied in with the Formula One race team all the way back in the 60s. Just love, it's one of those things that either you love it or you hate it. If you could appreciate it and say, hey, everything is here for a reason except for those 6 vents, then listen, it's a no-brainer because like I said, at the end of the day, 169 miles an hour, let's see, can you use it every day? Watch this. This is probably my favorite part. You open up the hatchback, look at all this room. And I'm telling you right now, compared to a Ford Focus RS, compared to a Mazda 3, compared to so many other hatchbacks, this car has a ton of room. I love how deep it is, so it's gonna allow you to have taller items. And then of course, that rear seat is gonna fold down 60-40 split, no problem. Here's another thing that's very interesting. I don't know if you ever noticed this. On a lot of hatchbacks, you wanna have some type of security shade, right? In case you're at the mall shopping, it's the holidays, you don't want somebody to see your stuff. Most of the time, you're gonna pull it. Well, with the way the Type R is designed, the engineers couldn't use one of those styles. What they did was they came up with this style. So by pulling that across, when this is closed, because you see this, there's the second part of it right up here. When this is closed, it makes one sealed, cohesive shade to where nobody's gonna see that you have the family jewels in the back of the car. But anyways, we talked about the back, we talked about the usability. Let's pop the hoods on these two Civics. All right, guys, hoods are popped. This is gonna be another major difference between the two. We're gonna start with the Si. So underneath the hood is that 1.5 liter inline four turbocharged engine. You're looking at 205 horsepower, and basically this car weighs about 2,889 pounds. It's mated to a 6-speed manual transmission. If you're quick with your feet and you love to dance, 0 to 60 is gonna be about 6.3 seconds, and quarter mile in about 15 seconds. At the end of the day, I like how clean it is underneath the hood, and what I mean by that is there's not a lot of plastic covers. They just let it show. You got your ignition coils, you can see all the different wiring harnesses and the hosing and all that good stuff, and I kind of like that. Here's another nice feature. You can see how they feed air into the air box. So there's a little open mouth that's gonna help bring that air into the air box and then bring it down into the engine. Turbo sits nicely right here underneath the piping for the intake, but just simple layout, 205 horsepower. Let's see what we got on this side. There it is. There's the Type R. That's a 2 liter, 306 horsepower engine. There's a lot to talk about here. The reason why they went with 306 is, remember, when this car came out in 2017, the STI still had 305. So I firmly believe Honda was like, let's do 306. 295 foot-pounds of torque, made it to a slick shifting manual transmission. The transmission though is not the same as the Si. The throws are shorter, they're crisper, it's a faster shifting transmission. 0 to 60, if you're good, you're looking at about 5 seconds flat. If you say a prayer and you have your lucky penny in your pocket, you may hit 0 to 60 in 4.9 seconds. 3,117 pounds, so it does weigh more than the Civic Si. Quarter mile is gonna be 13.6 seconds compared to that 15-second quarter mile. This car, the Civic Type R, around the Nürburgring, holds the record for the world's fastest front-wheel drive car, 7 minutes, 43 seconds. If you look at the record times, that's faster than a 2008 Audi R8, if you could believe that. But let's go ahead and fire up these two engines and see if they sound different. All right, guys, here we are in the 2019 AGM Blue Civic Si. Remember, MSRP is around $25,000 and change as it sits. Let's go to the doors. I like the way they brought some red contrast stitching. That's where I draw the line, though. The rest of the door is very dark, black plastic. The top near the window, near the base of the window, is soft, and they do bring a little bit of that grayish silver trim into it, but other than that, sea of darkness. And I hate the armrests in these cars. I don't know who's engineering that part, but they must have the craziest elbows, because every time I sit in one of these, my elbows just wind up getting hurt, and it's just a pain. As we transition to the dash, nice soft material. There's some faux carbon fiber that they have in the car. It looks real, guys. I'm telling you, they did a good job. Honda did a good job. It looks like a dry weave carbon fiber. You can see that gray trim, soft material. Like how low the dash is. The dash is very low. It's easy to see out the window. I like the center stack area. Nice large screen. You have, remember, for 2019 on both cars, it's back. Here, I'm just going to touch it a little bit. But anyways, the volume knob is back. I know a lot of people are like, why? Who cares? There's a lot of people who want to finely tune their acoustics when it comes to the music that they're listening to, and this will allow that fine tuning rather than using the screen or using the steering wheel controls. You have your blower switches here, very simple to use, and then very just clean with the AC. As we drop down, you have a nice cubby. You could charge your phone in here. And one thing just to show you is that the Civics have a dual plane center console. I think that's smart, believe it or not, because it allows more storage down here. And then if you need to run an iPhone charger or something like that, it's easy to just run through the back and have your phone right here. There's that 6-speed I was telling you about. The throws are fairly short. I like the leather around the shift knob, and you can see the red lettering in the numbers there. Very nice touch with the red and the leather boot. These cars do have electric e-brakes, so that's just something to be aware of. And then this is a button that will show you when you come to the business end what it does. This car, believe it or not, at $25,000 or so, has adaptive dampeners. Now, is it as high-tech as the Type R? No, but that's pretty good at this price point. Here's another area where you lose me. I don't like the way that this armrest, it only slides so far. That's it. You can't close the rest of this in case you don't want to see it. But you do have a lot of room, and you have this sliding little tray here where the cup holders are, so that's a really, really nice touch. I do like that. You have a USB jack down there all the way in that hole, and I guess if you wanted to get the world's largest Slurpee or Big Gulp, you definitely would be able to put it in your Si as you're zooming around your favorite back roads. But still that hard cloth material. Don't like, it's actually softer here than it is on the armrest or the armrest on the doors. Seats in the Civic Si, no leather. They're all cloth, but I love the design. I love the way they brought some gray, some red contrast stitching, that Si badge embroidered in red. Very nice touch just to make it feel a little extra special. And like I said, if you like sunroofs, this is the only one to get it. When we get to the Type R, no sunroof. So very small, traditional size sunroof, even though it's a 4-door car. Why don't you come on over to the business end, and that's where I'm going to show you some magic that happens over here. Come on over. All right, guys, business time. Let's start with the seat. The seat has manual controls to make your adjustments to raise, lower. I'm 6 feet tall, plenty of room. And these seats really hug you very nicely. They do a great job that they're firm, but just soft enough to where you're going to be comfortable. Where they're really hitting the mark are the pedals. Really love the placement of the pedals. I love that aluminum finish down there. Very nicely done, and you could do your heel-toe downshifting with this car so easily. Steering wheel. Mixed reviews. Love the size, love the shape, love the red contrast stitching. Hate these buttons. Hate these buttons. They look very cheap, very plasticky to the feel. They could have done something, you know, we've done a review in Accord with those nice thumb wheels. Where the heck are those? Why did I get controls off my Game Boy? I'm confused on that. And then when we look at the dash up there, you can see that you're running an LED bar coolant gauge, an LED bar fuel gauge, and then in the center, you have that full digital display. Here's what I was telling you about. You could hit the sport button, and there it shows you the adaptive suspension. You could go back, sport off. When I turn it back on, you see how we get some red lighting there? The things are red. Red means race. Red means fast. So that's why I think you see in so many cars why they use red. If you actually know anything about racing, red means the race has been stopped. Like if there's a really big accident and the red flag comes out, that means the race comes to a stop right then and there. But overall, great position. Like I said, good feel from the shifter. Pretty short throws, but you'll see when we get to the Type R, there's some differences. Let's go check them out. All right, guys, here we are in the Civic Type R. It's been a while since I sat in one, since mine. I'll tell you right off the bat, for an MSRP of around $36,000, $37,000, they really hit the mark on some great parts on the interior. Let's go to the doors. So what's going to be different about the doors is they brought some extra color in. They brought some more of that faux carbon fiber. So I love the way that they have the faux carbon fiber and then it's outlined by that red aluminum looking finish. Really nice touch with the red contrast stitching. You can see on the back of the door panel and the armrest, it's a nice suede Alcantara material, nicely done. Where I don't like it is the hard plastic around the controls for the windows and the door locks. Very, very hard plastic. But as we transition from the door panel to the dash, that same wonderful soft material, same carbon fiber, but look, there's more of that red trim. Very nicely done, very nicely done. Love the center stack setup. New, like I said, 2019, we got the knob back. The war was won by people who wanted a volume knob. Honda just gave in. Now remember, MSRP wise, the 2019 is about $1,000 more than the 2018. Here is really where the magic is, this shifter. Now, it may look similar to the shifter that's in the Si, but the throws are much shorter, engagement is much more crisp. I was gonna say crisper, but I don't know if that's appropriate grammar. But anyways, nice, crisp engagement. I like the red on the shift knob, and this is metal, and I'm telling you, in the Florida sun, this will get hot. If you don't block the window with a sunshade, this thing is going to get hot, and it'll burn your hand almost. You have a little bit harder plastic, but I like the silver. And then here's a wonderful switch here. This is going to get you through your 3 different modes, which we're going to show you with that plus R mode. Each one is numbered. That's a nice touch just to show you the exclusivity of the Type R. Same e-brake, and then same center console area. Only difference is that nice suede Alcantara material. It's still very hard. Whether you're looking at the Si or you're looking at the Type R, very hard. What is not hard, which is very soft, are these seats. Love, love, love the seats. Now you may look at these and say, oh my God, look at the bolstering, but look at the nice embroidery work, the grippy material that's gonna hold you in place. What's really nice about the bolstering as a Civic Type R goes off into the distance is it's very soft, and when you get in, it allows flex and then it pops right back. So that's a really nice touch. You can see the red seat belts, that's Type R only. And then finally, I don't see the sun, you're not gonna get your vitamin D. So one thing that I highly recommend is if you go the Type R route, compared to the Si, get yourself some vitamin D supplements because there's no sunroof in here. But guess what? Without a sunroof, it's a stronger, more stiff structure that's going to help handle those turns while you're going down the Nürburgring. But let's go ahead. We checked out these seats. Why don't you come on over to the business side and I'll show you the magic over here. All right, guys. So here we are on the business end. I'm 6 feet tall, plenty of room. I feel good in this. It cradles me just like my mother and my grandmother used to when I was a baby. That's how I feel. Thanks, Mom. But anyways, manual controls. So I don't know how you feel about that at this price point. I'd probably at least want to see power on the driver's side. But even with the manual controls, you could get this to fit your body like a perfect isotoner glove. Pedals, those same exact pedals as the Si. Nice touch. Now, with the auto rev match downshifting, you may not need to do heel toe, but guess what? If you shut it off, these things are placed beautifully. One thing I'm going to zonk though down there, what's with the plastic dead pedal? Come on. You got beautiful aluminum pedals and then you're going to cheap out on me with a plastic dead pedal? I would like to see that in aluminum just to tie it in, just to make it look a little bit more upscale. It's just the fine touches. Talk about fine touches. You can see how they brought the red, that Type R red, into the steering wheel. Same exact steering wheel, just with some different treatment. I hate the buttons. Just like on the Si, these buttons got to go. You have that red badge to remind you of all the decades of racing history that goes into every Honda product, and a similar gauge setup. The same LED bars, the same digital display, but watch this. You ready for the magic? Is Tom ready? Here we go. When we switch, you have comfort, you have sport, and then I'll wait for it to change. See how it gets a little red? Because remember, race, red race, and then plus R mode. That's when the tag changes, everything changes. You're in the stiffest suspension setting out of the 3. So with the Si, you have 2. It's sort of like sport and off. With this, you're going to have comfort, you're gonna have sport, and then you have that plus R mode. I don't wanna say it, but it's time to wrap this one up. If you're ready, let's go ahead and wrap this one up. All right, guys, it's been an amazing day here at Tampa Honda. Definitely got to give a huge shout out, a thank you. I'm so grateful for Christian and John and everybody else here at the dealership for bringing us out. You know, it was really Christian that put this whole thing together, was able to get it done for us. So definitely give him a call if you're interested in a Honda product here at Tampa Honda. But listen, that $10,000 question, I know you want my answer. If I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna spend the extra money and I'm gonna go the Type R route. That's just the way that I'm gonna go over the Si, but you know what? The Si is still a great choice as well. But anyways, if these are the types of things that you like to see on Raiti's Rides, these comparisons between two Japanese icons, the Si and the Type R, leave a comment in that comment section. If you're just visiting and you're on your way out and you're thinking, should I subscribe? Hello? Hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile coming back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you. Thank you for being part of the Raiti's Rides family. Thank you for your support. Check out all my different forms of social media. You know what they're called. It's all Raiti's Rides, original content all the time. If you want some merch, click that link in the description. Takes you right to Spreadshirt. And then, of course, we can't forget the man of the hour, the man of the millennium. He's receiving an award very shortly from YouTube for his great camera work and his protein consumption. Big Guns McGee, Tom Motioner, bringing home the gold at all his powerlifting competitions. So let's definitely show him some love. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.